There is a specific kind of money that almost nobody talks about. Not the money you earn, not the money you save, the money that shows up whether you work that day or not, whether you're awake, whether you're healthy, whether you're even alive. Most people will spend 40 years trading hours for dollars and never once question the deal. But somewhere, probably closer to you than you think, there are people who made a different decision. They stopped asking, how do I earn more? And started asking a completely different question. What can I own that earns for me? That question changes everything. Today, the 15 investments that keep paying long after the work is done. One of them doesn't cost a single dollar. One of them outlives you by generations. And the secret bonus at the end might be the highest return decision on this entire list. Stay with this until the end, because the order these are revealed in is not random. Each one unlocks something the next one needs. Here's what most people get wrong about investing. They think it means sacrifice. Put money away now, get more money later. That's a transaction. What we're actually talking about today is something different. We're talking about assets, things you build, buy, or plant once that keep generating value long after you've moved on to something else. The wealthy don't just earn differently, they own differently. And the gap between those two words, earn and own, is exactly the gap between financial struggle and financial freedom. So let's close it. Number 15. Own a business beside a popular landmark. A tourist visits the landmark once, but while they're there, they eat, they drink, they sleep nearby, they buy the souvenir, they take the taxi. The landmark created the demand, but your business captures where that demand flows next. A gelato shop directly facing one of Europe's most famous fountains reported $2.2 million in annual revenue. This is not a revolutionary business, average service, ordinary ice cream, but extraordinary location. A cafe in Paris with a direct sightline to the Eiffel Tower generates between $10 and $15 million a year. The landmark didn't just attract customers, it eliminated the single hardest problem in business, giving people a reason to arrive. An ordinary business placed directly in the path of extraordinary demand performs extraordinarily. And here's the insight hiding inside this one. You don't need to own the famous thing. You just need to be close enough that its gravity pulls customers into your orbit. But money isn't the only thing that compounds. And this next investment costs money the moment you make it, yet somehow gets more valuable with every year that passes. Number 14. Memorable travel. Most purchases begin dying the moment you complete them. The car loses value driving off the lot. The gadget is outdated in 18 months. The outfit goes out of style. But the right trip does the opposite. It starts compounding the day it ends. Researchers call this the memory dividend. Daniel Kahneman spent decades studying what actually makes people feel that their lives were well lived. His findings were clear. Experiences, especially ones involving novelty, connection, and challenge, produce lasting positive emotions in ways that material purchases almost never do. Take your parents somewhere they always wanted to see while they can still walk those streets unassisted. Travel somewhere difficult and uncomfortable before your schedule fills with everyone else's priorities. Cross a country with your closest friend. Show your children a world larger than the one they currently know. The money is gone when the plane takes off, but the return, it stays and it grows, especially when things go wrong. The flight you missed, the wrong hostel, the night you got completely lost in a city where nobody spoke your language. Those are the stories told longest, the ones that become family mythology, the ones that come out at dinner 30 years later. Unlike almost every other form of consumption, the value of a great trip rises over time. Now invest in something that can travel without you and keep sending you money while you sleep. Number 13. Dividend stocks, or even better, dividend ETFs. Here is the core mechanism. Stripped completely clean, you buy a share of a company once. If that company earns a profit, and many of them do, every single quarter, they send a portion of that profit directly to you. No extra work required, no calls to make, no deliveries to manage. An ETF takes this further. One purchase places you inside a basket of dozens of dividend-paying companies simultaneously, which means the income is more stable because no single company's bad quarter destroys your return. But here's where it becomes genuinely interesting. Three things happen at the same time inside a well-chosen dividend ETF. The companies themselves grow in value. The dividends they pay tend to increase over time, and you can reinvest those dividends automatically, so the next payment is larger than the last. That quiet compounding effect, what Albert Einstein reportedly called the eighth wonder of the world, runs in the background while you sleep, while you raise your children, while you're on that memorable trip from Investment 14. And speaking of things that grow more valuable over time, let's plant something you can actually eat. Number 12. A fruit garden. A fruit tree is one of the few investments capable of outliving you and still giving to people you will never meet. For the first few years, the deal looks terrible. You dig, you water, you protect and prune. The tree gives you almost nothing back. Then one season it starts producing, and after that, it may feed people for decades. Figs, olives, apples, pears. These are multi-generational assets assets. Someone may eat fruit from a tree planted before they were born. One afternoon of work creates years of food, shade, beauty, and family ritual. Children begin to measure the seasons by what's ready to pick. The garden becomes a living calendar, and if you own enough land, a single acre of well-managed blueberries can generate tens of thousands of dollars annually. Once those plants reach maturity, even a small, carefully chosen planting of a few dozen trees can produce meaningful income or feed a family for decades. Most things you buy begin losing value the moment you own them. A fruit tree does the opposite. It starts almost worthless and becomes more valuable with every passing season. And that garden becomes even more valuable when the place surrounding it is somewhere you actually want to be. Number 11. A beautiful and comfortable home. You will spend more of your life inside your home than almost anywhere else on earth. And yet most people either cheap out entirely or design their home for someone they imagine might visit, not for the person who actually lives there. The morning light should make waking easier. The kitchen should invite people to stay. The chair should actually support your back. The bedroom should be dark, quiet, and cool enough that you get the best rest of your life every single night. There should be a corner where you think clearly, a table where the family gathers, and enough beauty around you that returning home at the end of a difficult day feels like a reward. These details look small because none of them transforms your life in a single dramatic moment. They transform it across 10,000 ordinary days. A beautiful home pays in comfort, in better sleep, in deeper conversations, in the feeling that your life is happening somewhere you actually want to be. Research from Harvard's study of adult development, the longest-running study of human well-being ever conducted, confirmed what your gut already knows. The quality of the environment you inhabit every day is one of the most consistent predictors of long-term happiness. Not income, not status, where you live and how that place makes you feel. Build the backyard where your children learn to ride bicycles. Don't be excessive, but don't be conservative either when it comes to your daily environment. That's one of the rare points where nearly every expert agrees. And speaking of compressing time, this next investment is how the most successful people in history stopped learning from their own mistakes. Number 10. Getting a coach early. Here is what your ancient brain was never designed to do. Navigate a modern financial system that changes faster than any previous generation in human history could have prepared you for. Think about what trial and error actually costs. Every mistake you make is tuition paid to the school of experience, which is fine, unless someone else has already made that exact mistake, learned that exact lesson, and would share it with you directly. A great coach short-circuits that process. They've already walked the path, seen the traps, paid that tuition at full price. When you access their judgment early enough, at 22 instead of 45, you compress decades of struggle into months of targeted progress. One better decision at 25 can change the entire trajectory of your career. One clearer standard at 28 can improve every relationship you enter after that. One honest conversation at 30 can prevent a decade of quiet regret. The earlier you get the input, the longer the compounding period lasts. And compounding, as we keep discovering in this list, is the only force powerful enough to permanently change the direction of a life. Now we move into the pure money printers, the assets that generate cash with the least friction on the planet. Number 9. REITs. Real estate has made more ordinary people wealthy than almost any other asset class in recorded history. The problem has always been the work that comes with it. The leaking roof, the midnight calls, the difficult tenant, the unexpected repair. A REIT, a real estate investment trust, solves all of that. You buy shares in a company that owns income-generating properties, warehouses, hospitals, apartment complexes, hotels, shopping centers. That company collects rent from hundreds of tenants simultaneously. Then it sends a share of that rental income to you as dividends, usually every single quarter. In the United States, qualifying REITs are legally required to distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders. That is not a courtesy. That is the law. You get the economic benefit of real estate ownership without receiving a single call about a broken toilet. And you can start with very little. Most major brokerages allow you to purchase fractional shares, meaning you can access this asset class for the cost of a dinner out. Now this next investment consumes money constantly. It will wake you up at 3 in the morning. It will openly disagree with your decisions, and it will be the greatest thing you ever experienced. Number 8. Having and raising children right. If investing means sacrificing resources today to create value that continues long after you are gone, very few investments anywhere on this list are more powerful than a child raised well. The returns are not delayed. They begin almost immediately. In joy, in meaning, in the feeling that what you're doing matters beyond your own lifespan. You pour in time, patience, education, discipline, stories, love, and a child learns how to treat people, how to carry responsibility, how to recover from failure, eventually how to build a life without needing you to manage it. The goal is never to raise someone who feels indebted to you. The goal is to raise someone capable of standing strongly without you. Money survives through inheritance. Values survive through people. And if you do that well, your influence enters friendships, workplaces, marriages, and future generations you may never live to see. The most powerful thing you can leave behind is not wealth. It is a human being who knows how to build wealth and share it. Number 7. Off-grid home infrastructure. Most people rent their power, rent their water, rent their comfort from systems they do not control. Every month, the bill arrives. Every year, the price tends to go up. Owning the infrastructure that runs your home flips that relationship permanently. Solar panels, battery storage, a reliable water system. These are not expenses. They are permanent increases in independence. Once installed on a home you own, they keep working for decades. As of this year, a quality solar installation costs around $25,000. In most sunny regions, that system pays for itself within 8 years. After that, every unit of power it generates is free. Every sunny day, the panels produce power you no longer have to purchase. Add battery backup and you're protected when the grid drops. Add an electric vehicle and your transportation costs drop toward zero. The lower your fixed obligations, the more of your income is actually yours. And the return on this investment compounds every single month you live in that home. Number 6. Writing a book, a song, or any piece of creative intellectual property. The real goal, the goal underneath all 15 investments on this list, is to work once and keep being paid for it. Intellectual property is the closest legal structure to that goal that currently exists. Write a book once. It can sell for decades. Record a song once. It generates royalties every time it is streamed, performed, licensed to a film, or used in a commercial. Build software. Design a character. Create a course. Photograph something genuinely valuable. The same work can be sold to an unlimited number of people without being recreated for each one. Here's the counterintuitive truth buried inside this investment. The first copy requires enormous effort. The millionth copy costs almost nothing to produce. That gap between the cost of creation and the scale of distribution is where real wealth from intellectual property lives. But one creation is still a lottery ticket. A catalog is an asset. 10 books, 50 songs, several patents, a library of digital products. These give luck more opportunities to find you. And sometimes the difference between an overlooked creation and a global one is simply knowing the right person. Number 5. Building a high-value network early. Here is the truth that most people resist because it sounds unfair. The bulk of the wealth most successful people accumulate is not a direct product of how hard they work. It is a byproduct of who they knew and the decisions they made together. Hard work makes you valuable, absolutely, but a network gives that value somewhere to travel. The right person introduces you to a market you didn't know existed. Another brings the capital. Someone else has the distribution you need. A fourth has the reputation your deal was missing. Alone, each of you has an incomplete opportunity. Together you have a business. This is why you build the network early, before anyone urgently needs anything. Meet capable people while they are still becoming capable. Help them before their success becomes obvious. Make introductions. Share opportunities. Keep your word when breaking it would be more convenient. People remember who believed in them before the rest of the world caught on. And here is the distinction that separates a high-value network from an impressive contact list. 1,000 contacts who ignore you in a crisis are worth less than 10 people who trust your judgment enough to answer the call. The real asset is accumulated trust, not access. Now these last 4. These are pure cash flow engines, location-based, low friction, built on permanent human behavior. Number 4. A permanent billboard on a high-traffic street. The single biggest constraint facing every business on earth is not capital. It's not talent. It's not even competition. It's that nobody knows who they are and what they do. Advertising exists to solve that problem, which is why it is a $1.26 trillion industry. Most businesses rent attention for a short period of time. A permanent billboard on a high-traffic street lets you own that attention instead. You build the structure once, then you rent the space to businesses that need visibility. They pay you every month. You keep the asset. Thousands of drivers pass that same location week after week. The billboard sits there through rain, through holidays, through changing seasons. It does not need managing, does not get sick, it does not negotiate. A well-placed digital billboard, more expensive to install, but generating 3 to 6 times the revenue of traditional structures, carries profit margins around 60% and cash-on-cash returns that regularly exceed 20% annually. As long as the road stays busy, someone will want to rent the space. Number 3, a parking lot in a city center, land and a barrier. That is the business. You are using valuable city center land in its least ambitious possible form, while the city itself makes that land more valuable every year. This is not glamorous. It is not complicated. It is one of the purest examples of location-based cash flow that exists. Cars still need somewhere to stop. Offices, restaurants, events, and apartment buildings keep generating that need around the clock. You collect by the hour, by the day, or by the month. And here is the move that makes this genuinely powerful. You are not locking the land into a single permanent use. As the neighborhood develops and land around yours disappears into buildings, your options expand. Keep operating and collecting strong cash flow, or sell to a developer for a premium that reflects everything the city has built around your land. No elevators to maintain, no leaking roofs, no tenants calling at midnight. Paint the lines, keep the payment system working, and the land does the rest. This is one of the few investments where you get paid well today, with a chance to be paid even more tomorrow. Number 2, a storage facility. People buy more than they need, and then they refuse to throw most of it away. That single behavioral pattern, embedded deeply enough in modern consumer culture that no recession has ever eliminated it, creates one of the most reliable cash flow businesses in all of real estate. You build or buy rows of locked units. People pay monthly to leave their excess belongings there. You rarely see them. They rarely call. The units stay full. When the economy is good, people buy more. When the economy contracts, they still need somewhere to store everything they already own. This is what economists call counter-cyclical demand. The business does not just survive recessions, it is often protected by them. A mid-sized storage facility can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in annual net operating income with far less day-to-day involvement than managing residential properties. And once someone moves their furniture and boxes in, inertia keeps them paying month after month, long after they've forgotten what's even in the unit. Reliable cash flow, sticky demand, underlying land that appreciates. This is the set it and collect model of real estate, and it works because the cultural habit feeding it shows no sign of reversing. And now, number 1, not owning a business beside a landmark, owning the landmark itself. A landmark is not necessarily the Eiffel Tower or the Colosseum. A landmark is any piece of real estate that has earned something no amount of money can manufacture on demand. A name, a story, a cultural reason for people to arrive, a historic hotel, a castle, a restaurant that has become mythology, a vineyard, a lighthouse, a theater where something significant happened. Ordinary real estate has an address. A landmark has a name that people travel specifically to see. They photograph it. They hold weddings there. They tell people it has to be experienced at least once. That recognition creates demand before you spend a single dollar on advertising. And here is the competitive moat no rival can cross. They can open a competing hotel. They cannot recreate the history, the stories, the cultural significance attached to yours. You monetize through admission, hospitality, events, restaurants, merchandise, licensing, filming, and you hold an asset that, by definition, cannot be duplicated. Grand Castle in Transylvania, known across the world as Dracula's Castle, is owned by a single family. It has been generating wealth for them across generations, and barring something no one can predict, it will continue doing so for generations more. That is what ownership of the irreplaceable looks like. You own the land, the business, the attention, and the story, all at once. And as long as people care about that story, the asset pays the family that protects it. Now here is where the list becomes something larger than itself, because there is one final investment, the bonus, and it does not appear in any financial textbook. It cannot be purchased through any brokerage. No platform offers fractional shares of it. Going the extra mile to choose the right partner. Almost every major outcome in your life will eventually pass through this decision. Your partner will be present for your greatest achievements. They will be your shelter during the worst seasons. They will shape how your children understand love, commitment, and what it means to show up for someone. The wrong partner does not just make your personal life difficult, it creates friction across every other investment on this list. Your business decisions, your financial risk tolerance, your ability to focus, your capacity to be present for your children. The right partner does the opposite. They create the conditions in which everything else compounds faster. Choose the person whose presence makes you feel lighter, whose values still make sense when the early chemistry settles into real life, whose love does not require you to become smaller to receive it. The right partner will not complete you. They will make it safer for you to become everything you are already capable of being. Now you understand understand the 15 assets, but understanding what to own is only half the equation. The other half, the half most people skip entirely, is understanding what is silently working against every investment you make. There is a hidden tax. It is not on your income. It is not on your investments. It is on your decisions, and it costs most people more than any bad investment ever will. That is the next video, and once you understand what this hidden tax actually is, you will never look at your financial choices the same way again. If you're someone who just saw this list and thought, I've been spending my whole life on things that don't compound, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if even one of these shifted something in how you see money. Every week, Next Gen IQ goes deeper into the truths about wealth that most people spend a lifetime learning too late. Pause for a second. Think about someone in your life, a friend, a sibling, someone you genuinely care about, who is still trading all of their hours for all of their income and calling it a plan. Share this video with them right now, because the wealth within isn't something you keep to yourself. If you're someone who is done watching from the outside, someone who is ready to build assets that pay beyond the hours you work, then this channel was built for you. Hit subscribe so you never miss what comes next, and drop a comment below. Which of these 15 investments are you starting with, and why? A thumbs up takes 2 seconds, and it means everything. The wealth within is already there. Next Gen IQ is just the map.